Hi everyone, this is Cecil, and in today's Yellowstone podcast, I'm going to be talking about the must-see sites on the stretch of road between West Thumb Geyser Basin and the Upper Geyser Basin, which is where Old Faithful is located. In the past, I used to say this is Cecil from YellowstoneTours.net, but our main site is actually usaparktours.com. And if you go to usaparktours.com/Yellowstone, you can see all the hundreds of tours that we operate to the Yellowstone area. But enough of that. Let's take a look at a map of Yellowstone National Park, and you can see exactly the stretch of road that I'm going to be talking about today. You can find this map at our motel site, which is ysmotel.com. We operate Yellowstone Motel in the small town of West Yellowstone. If you go to ysmotel.com/map, you'll see this map. You'll know by now, I hope, that the roads through Yellowstone make up this gigantic figure of 8. And today we're going to be on the lower loop of the figure of 8 and dealing with the stretch of road from West Thumb Geyser Basin right at the bottom here at the southern portion of Yellowstone's lower loop and heading off to the Upper Geyser Basin, which, as I mentioned before, is where Old Faithful Geyser is located. This is a beautiful stretch of road, but in my book there's not that many must-see sites on the stretch of road, but let me show you what you should look out for. Leaving West Thumb Geyser Basin, you will turn right or more or less northwest and start making your way up a small hill. And as you get to about this point here that I'm showing you on the map, there is really a stunning view overlooking West Thumb Geyser Basin, overlooking Yellowstone Lake, and all the way off to the Absaroka Mountains, which are off to the east over here. Here's a couple of pictures I took. There is a place that you can pull out. So stop there. This picture was shot, as you can see, early in the morning with all the steam coming off the various thermal features. And then here's another one that I shot at a different time. This was in the early spring. You can see those mountains off in the background and the beautiful blue waters. It really is a stunning sight, so consider stopping over there. Let us then continue on this stretch of road. And what I'm going to do now is switch to Google Maps. And this is really easy to find. I'm sure everybody knows how to use Google Maps now. And let's zoom in a little bit. One of the highlights on this stretch of road is the fact that you're going to cross over the Continental Divide twice. Here is the first time, here's the second time. Now, if you came up from Yellowstone's south entrance, you would have crossed over the Continental Divide just before you got to Grand Village. But here we are going to cross over it twice. What we generally do on our tours, and I've told you before where you can find our tours, usaparktours.com/Yellowstone. What we generally do on our tours is stop at this Continental Divide over here where Isolate Lake is to be found, but I will tell you more about that in a moment. So we'll make our way up the hill, and I am going to switch to satellite view. It gives us a little bit of a better perspective. Now have a look at this. This is Yellowstone caldera. Now the caldera is the gigantic hole in the ground that was left after the last time that the Yellowstone supervolcano erupted, or depending on which source of reference you want to believe, in between 610,000 and 630,000 years ago. Not quite sure what Google means by the caldera over there, because if we have a look at the map, you can see where the caldera line is. And I don't want to bore those of you who've listened to my previous explanation of the caldera, but if you want more information, just ask me in the comments section below. But we can see here where the caldera line is. Look where Shoshone Lake is. So quite what Google is doing, showing the caldera on the north side of Shoshone Lake, I don't know. Anyway, you'll twist and turn and go up and down, and as I say, the scenery is really spectacular. You'll find that there are some trailheads to various hikes on this stretch of road, but that's another story. Now, you'll see Shoshone Lake here. Shoshone Lake is the second largest lake in all of Yellowstone after Yellowstone Lake. And there is a viewpoint up over here where you can stop and off in the distance can see Shoshone Lake. Now, it is believed that Shoshone Lake is the largest lake in the lower 48 states which cannot be accessed by road. You have to hike in there, or if you are adventurous, there you can take Lewis River from Lewis Lake and paddle your way into that area. Let's get back to the map on our site, ysmotel.com. And as I zoom in, let's have a look now at where Isa Lake is. We've gone past the Continental Divide over here. We've gone past the overlook of Shoshone Lake. And then we get to the Continental Divide where Isa Lake is. What I've done is we have what we call virtual Yellowstone tours. We've got every single stretch of road in Yellowstone covered, and here I am with West Thumb Geyser Basin behind me, heading towards Old Faithful, and on the right, in a moment, I've just gone past the Continental Divide sign. On the right, this is Isa Lake. It's such a pretty lake, and you see those water lilies there. You don't expect to find them at such an altitude. Now, I should point out that since I took this video, the crowds there have got so much worse, but just be careful and you should be able to find a place where you can stop. Now, I mentioned our virtual Yellowstone tours. If you go to YouTube, and I understand that most of you are probably watching this on YouTube, but go to YouTube, search for Yellowstone Tours, it'll bring up our channel. And we have literally hundreds and hundreds of videos of all Yellowstone's roads, all the main geyser basins, all the main geysers erupting, the animals in Yellowstone, various hikes, and just so many other points of interest as well. Let's get back now to the map at our site, ysmotel.com. We're going to be dropping down and we'll come to the area where Lone Star Geyser and Kepler Cascades are. Lone Star Geyser, as you'll see over here, is one of the few trails in the park where you're actually allowed to take a bicycle. And that's what I did. And if we have a look at this one of our virtual Yellowstone tours, I'm on my bicycle, I'm approaching the area where you have to leave your bicycle. Look on the right there, just to the right of that tree, you can see Lone Star Geyser erupting. They don't normally predict Lone Star Geyser's eruption times, but I was lucky enough to catch one of the rare predictions. I was at Old Faithful. I had my bicycle in the back of my car, so I raced off down, hopped on my bike and got there in time to watch the eruption. It's a beautiful geyser, and it really is a lovely trail that follows the Firehole River along an old service road, and you go under a forest of lodgepole pine trees. It really is a most beautiful walk or bike ride. A little further down the road, in fact, right next to the Lone Star Geyser Trailhead parking lot, you'll find Kepler Cascades. Now, Cascades is basically a series of small waterfalls where the water, as the name suggests, cascades over these smaller drops. And you'll find a video on Kepler Cascades in our virtual Yellowstone Tour channel on YouTube as well. We'll then get to the turnoff to Old Faithful Geyser and the Upper Geyser Basin, and that is where this Yellowstone podcast is going to end. Please remember, if you're looking for a motel in the Yellowstone area, we do operate Yellowstone Motel, which you can see at ysmotel.com. Please check that out. And then again, all of our Yellowstone tours can be seen at usaparktours.com/Yellowstone. Thank you so much for joining me on another one of these Yellowstone podcasts.